because when you buy a McDonald's for $1 million, they hand over the franchise. It's proven. You get everything in a package and whatever, and McDonald's will be successful because everything is in that process or in that system. So I want you not to have fear of responsibility. Don't ever let that stop you from recruiting, because we'll help you. The more we can get systems and processes in place, which is what the team is doing, the more we help you. Getting them into the 90-day bronze, getting them to listen to the new instructor training. Has anybody listened to that? That we launched the recordings in the back office. And so get them started early. Once they get into completely 90-day bronze, that's all they should be thinking about, nothing else. Then if they can get through that process, attrition kicks in direct selling in month 2 and month 3. If they're not happy, they're not feeling successful, and they're not making money, they will drop out in month 2 and month 3. That's why every direct selling company has a 90-day program. The goal is to keep them in the system. Once they get into month 4, they're more apt to be successful and stay in it. And I've seen attrition with companies, welcome, 100%, where as many people come in the program go out the back door. So you want to control that attrition. It's more work and it's more expensive to go out and find new people, right? It wears you out. So work on those that you have that are passionate about it. In the top, I want you to kind of think about this as we go through training. The top 3 reasons people join a home-based business. Does anybody want to maybe start raising their hands so I can start handing that?
Make money.
Make money. What's the good thing if you want to? That was Joe. Actually, money is number 3. Christy?
Fortune and sounds.
Yeah, it's not in the top 3, but it's in the top 10.
We do both.
Okay, that is number 1. Stand up and sit. Kick. You gotta
What's number 1 is to meet new people who are in the same point at life that they are also in.
So the number 1 reason for people to join, and there's a lot of reasons, we're going to go through. What I want you to do is remember all the weapons, what's in it for me. I call it my favorite radio station. But there's probably 20 reasons people join a selling company, and lots of them mentioned. But the number 1 reason people join a home-based business, which can be in a lot of different forms, is they want to be with like people. They want to be in a community where people kind of believe in the same things that they do. And that sense of community is what drives direct selling. Who here thinks that relationship building or just creating relationships in the world of technology is disappearing? That's why direct selling is going to get bigger and bigger, because we're missing that human contact, that relationship component. So that's why it's always important. High tech, but still high touch. So you got number 1. Number 2, we got the money. Number 3, anybody put number? That's up there. That's up there. But remember, I'm thinking more the business opportunity.
Well, I was thinking helping others, like sharing your passion with others.
That's part of number 1. That's good. That's good.
I was going to say to be able to get the products at a better deal.
That's up there. That's up there. That's probably more of a customer, but that's up there.
Time freedom.
That's up there. Financial autonomy. That's up in the top 5.
To have a little more of a social one?
That's close. So let me tell you what that means. Mark, I'll let you.
Residual income.
Close. That's number 3. That's the money. So what is it in the world that we all need? What do we need? And we don't get it with our JO.
Personal growth.
Recognition, just validation. We don't get, that's one of the reasons people love direct selling, because as Robin stated, there's more personal development in this type of business model than in an IBM or Xerox. Where would IBM and Xerox ever have a motivational seminar or whatever? So it's that recognition piece. And how much does recognition cost you? Nothing. So that's why I'm leaving here tomorrow afternoon. Think about how you can incorporate recognition into your budget and into your business, because it doesn't cost you anything. And believe me, recognition becomes up more powerful than money. So that's number 2. So 1, a sense of community. 2 is recognition. 3 is money. Okay? Okay, so first on our agenda, we're going to talk about this particular model, direct selling. Does anybody know what the direct selling model is? And again, this is your chance to earn samples. Well, I think we're going to give out 3 prizes tomorrow to have everyone count their samples. So describe direct selling. I gave you a couple of hints.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb, but I think it's when a company, instead of paying like a marketing team to try to sell and distribute, then they sell the distributor, pay the distributor to sell it direct to the customer.
To their circle of influence. So the compensation plan becomes the advertising budget for the company, right? So the direct selling business model is what we call a relationship selling or person-to-person model. So you've got an e-commerce model, you've got tons, look at Amazon, and at some point Amazon may go into more of a human business model, and you've got brick and mortar. Now look at the brick and mortar businesses. How many of them are closing down? How many of them are closing their doors? The brick and mortar is going more towards discount, larger discount, big box stores. So relationship selling is one of 3 ways to move a product. And to your point, the compensation plan is the company's advertising budget. So number 1, relationship selling, people selling, high touch, high tech. That's a good word good words to remember. Always remember PPO, people, product, and opportunity. And you guys hear that when we talk on the opportunity call. You probably heard me say that a million times. You look for the right people, the right product, and the right opportunity. Make sure you package your robust story, your why statement. You don't need a why statement when you work for Xerox, but you do need it in the direct selling company. Party plan companies are typically more product-centric, and MLM or network marketing companies are usually more business-centric. But GSG Life is actually kind of right down the middle. So the goal is to kind of be on both sides. And as far as the network marketing company, does anybody know kind of what I'm talking about? Like an Herbalife or Shapley, they meet at Starbucks and we talk about the business opportunity. Let's see. 1099s is what makes this business different. We're gonna do a segment on how to be a CEO. Everyone in this room needs to realize you're a CEO of your own business. You're a boss of your own business. I know Kristen has the official COO as a W-2, but you guys are all CEOs as well. And we're going to talk about how to act like a CEO and how to own it. Because as you get started in this business, you're really just trying to keep up with it, trying to do the right things. But think of yourself as a CEO. When you go home tonight to your wives and husbands, I want you to let them know you're a CEO. Facts tell and stories sell. So it's reversed in the corporate world. So remember, your story is what sells you. The 80-20 rule, 80% of the sales field does about $200 to $500 a month. So this industry is created mostly of what I call part-timers. And that's okay. And I know you've heard me say on the calls, if 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week, whatever it is, own it. It's okay. Just own it. We're going to talk about how to figure out if you're doing the right things, because there's an industry average on what that hour should equate to dollar-wise. So we're going to go through, and that will help you determine whether or not you're working the business correctly. So remember the 80-20 rule. It's almost 90-10 right now. Most of the field really does this part-time. Let's see, the masses in the industry are part-timers, less than 20 hours a month. There are 3 personalities in this business. Anybody want to try for what that is? You've got a host, you've got a customer, and you've got an instructor. So those are always the 3 personalities you're dealing with. And the goal is to take your customer, and as Robin said, it's all about customer service, right? 2016 is the year of the customer. So that equates to customer service. So if you have a happy customer, make them a happy host. Once they become a happy host, make them a happy instructor. because it's cheaper for you to go after your customers and your hosts to sponsor them, right? Because they're already in love with you and your product, they believe in you. And if you can get somebody who's been all three personalities, they're gonna be the best instructor you've ever had, because they get it, all three sides. Anybody done that? Recruited a customer to a host to, you did? How did it work out?
Good, she was in the company for quite a while.
Yeah, good, okay, she needs, good, that's great to hear you did that. As I mentioned, your compensation plan is your advertising budget. So with this business model, we're paying you to be our PR firm, to go out and share the word with your circle of influence and their circle of influence. And people always ask me, within the first, sometimes it's first month or first 3 months, I've already worn out my circle of influence. The average person, American, comes across 250 people in a given week. So think about that. And you might want to lock that down, because it's amazing how many we don't think. Schools, teachers, dry cleaners, doctors, chiropractors, whatever, we just don't think about it. But you know, you are exposed most average 250. And then after your 250, think about reaching their 250. So when you recruit or sponsor or gain a customer, ask them for their circle of influence. That's how you start drilling down. Direct selling is the only business model that's designed to go around your lifestyle. Brick and mortar and corporations don't say, hey, how much time do you have each week, and you can go ahead and work those hours. This is the chance to blend it into your own lifestyle, and we're going to go through steps on how to make those power hours or the time you've allotted as powerful as possible. Most people get into this industry and deserve to earn back their initial investment, whether it's $7.79 or $49, right? So the goal of the 90-day bronze is to show them how to make that investment back. Those people are more apt to stay as well. And again, I want to remind you, business kits are write-offs. So, you know, if you've got someone coming in at a high kit level, make sure that they know that, because they're buying their franchise, their home-based business. And people too, I think, what is it, 5 kits? Do you have this 4 or 5? Business kits?
Oh, the product kits?
Yeah. 4 plus 1.
That's the
So,
business kit.
yeah, a lot of times the kit entry, the point, what I call the point of entry, will determine kind of their commitment level. So if anybody is over that paper kit level, I would say deserves full attention. Direct selling is predominantly done in the evenings and weekends, right? I think a lot of you have full-time jobs, right? Some of you taking today off, or you call that sick today. Systems and processes are important, as Robin said. After you leave today, or I'm sorry, tomorrow, I hope that you will have your own systems and processes in place, because once somebody signs up and joins your team, you should have a step-by-step program, so they're ready to rock and roll. The top selling product categories in the direct selling industry are, anybody know? Health and beauty.
Weight loss.
What?
Weight loss.
Part of well, health, yeah, definitely. Weight loss, energy.
Financial.
Well, actually, the 2 top selling product categories are health products, which are all the products you said, and then beauty. And why is that?
People want to look good.
That's one. But think of revenue with these companies. They're consumable, right?
Yeah.
Consumability is the place to be today. You only have to sell the product once, and it's the hopes that it's a reorder continually. But when you're selling a prepaid, or you're selling an identity theft program or an insurance program, that's a tough sell. The consumability is a great place to be. That means more money for you guys and larger companies. What is the oldest direct selling company in the industry? Anybody have an idea?
Avon.
Who said Avon?
Oh, no,
Joan, what's that? Yeah. Joan, you got it. Okay. Avon started in the late 1800s selling encyclopedias and perfume. So shows that these companies do stay around. Does anybody know what DSA is? Or been to DSA.org? Direct Selling Association. DSA is a lobbyist for direct selling companies. It's a great place for you guys to go and learn about the industry. There's a lot of information about social media, virtual parties, and so visit DSA.org when you can. That's a great information. One of every 7 homes in the U.S. is affected by direct selling, whether or not if someone has bought a product from a direct selling company or somebody's doing the business. So that's pretty massive, 1 in 7. America is the number one country in direct selling. Anybody want to step up for number 2 or number 3?
Japan.
Japan is number 3.
Australia.
Japan actually dropped to number 3. Someone took over.
Australia.
One country.
Canada. China.
China's the top. China's number 2.
Who said China?
Canada, because of the population being so low, is a tough. But China has pushed Japan back. Direct selling is 80% female dominated, and party plan, in the party plan world, it's 99.9%. So this is the one industry where women actually step up. This is the one industry where there's more female millionaires. So what I love about direct selling is that, as I see in the corporate world, is corporations are looking for employees with master's degrees. You see that more bachelor. They're getting tougher and tougher in college degrees. And so this is the only industry where I have seen people not go farther than junior high school and become millionaires. So there is no glass ceiling in this industry. It's anybody can make it. You're not qualified by going to college, and you're not qualified by your ethnicity. So that's what I love about it, because it's equal for everybody. We're going to talk about the hourly rate average as we go through, and we take the hours you invest into your GSG Live business and what your paycheck is. We're going to talk about what that looks like. But the average in the industry is $25 an hour. So the goal is that we kind of, if one of you says I'm working 40 hours, okay, for an example. So 40 hours and your check is 1,000, so that's what? That equates to 10, so 20. So that's about 22 hours. So your goal is, those are the hours, that's the money you're making. The goal is to try to get around $25 or more. And when you're sharing the business opportunity, the federal minimum wage right now is $8.25 an hour. So $25, almost 3 times as much. It's pretty good to people. There are people averaging $100 an hour. So think about that. You want to monetize the time you put into the business. Women join, or everybody joins this business community recognition money. We talked about that. You own your destiny in this business. It's your decision on your destiny, not a corporation. No glass ceiling. Determine your hours and own it. Part-time, full-time, whatever that looks like. And as Robin said, share, don't sell. The word share just feels better as you're out there sharing the products and the opportunities. Be passion-driven. I want to share a couple of real funny experiences. So, and I think I texted Kristen last night. I came in yesterday and I'm talking to GSG Live to a girl at Super Shuttle, I think it is, and then the guys in the van. So, and it's funny because I'm in this van with a whole bunch of people, but the passion kind of comes through. I wasn't talking about numbers or anything. It was just, have you heard about this new probiotic? And so everyone turns, and and I'm in the back of this Super Shuttle, and so I kind of tested last night because they didn't know who I was. So it was all kind of about passion and excitement. So this morning I was waiting in the lobby for my personal chauffeur to pick me up, and I spent 10 minutes talking to the front desk. So I have a customer ready to go for somebody we're going to give away. So again, it was action. I didn't talk about it. I talked about the product. I was excited. She goes, whoa, I want to hear more. So what we're going to do tonight is, you've got a free night tonight, and a lot of these events are usually in hotels, so it's easier. But if anybody can come back tomorrow morning with a customer, proof of a customer recruit, I'll give you my customer. You got a customer. So it's just easy with passion. And I refer to dating, when you're kind of in love and you're kind of all over the place, you don't know what's going on. And sometimes when you first get involved in things, the passion can actually make you more successful when you don't know as much stuff. Because sometimes people are just excited, but they don't know how to answer any questions, but it's just the excitement that's selling it. So, okay. Let's see, be passion driven. Residual income is the key. I think Mark you said that. Everybody in this room wants to be able to walk away in a couple of years, and I call it beach money, where you built a big enough business where you're checking online or on your phone, and you're making money. So everybody wants to have that beach money. So, and I always tell people, give yourself 2 or 3 years to really be focused and build your business, and then that beach money starts to really kick in. Now, when you take a compensation plan, any compensation plan in the industry, you've got the retailing part, and then you've got all the other stuff, which is the residual income. So you want to start really building that other stuff, because as you're out doing retail, customers, and classes, you want all that other residual income to kick in too. Because once you stop, that retail stops unless you have a holistic with customers doing auto ships. So that residual part is really important for you to build a future check. Make sense? Okay. Let's see. Okay, cool. Okay. Now I gave you in your packet, I don't know if you saw, a couple diagrams of the Direct Selling Association. It's got color. You got it there. I wanted you to see the biggest market in the United States. You guys see at the bottom right-hand corner? It cuts the United States up into 2 areas. Did you see the biggest market for direct selling? It's actually the Southeast. So North Carolina, that's actually more revenue comes from that part of the world in direct selling. So it kind of breaks it up so you see where revenue comes from. Okay? Any questions? What are your responses? Any questions? I'll let you kind of peruse it. Isn't that interesting? That's on the direct selling website. So, oh, it's the bottom. Okay. Great. Okay. Anybody need a bathroom break? Everybody, okay, we're going to go on to part 2. Are you guys happy you're in the relationship building industry? Yeah. I'll tell you, I know a lot of people that they in the industry would call it JRB, just build a growth. And so many people want to get rid of their boss and get rid of their, just like I say, own their own life, right? Make their own decisions. So we're going to talk about how for the next hour, we are going to talk about how to be a CEO, some of the characteristics and what CEOs look like. And as we're talking, I want you to kind of think about your favorite CEO. I know Robin will come to mind, obviously, but just kind of emulating your mind what maybe a favorite CEO looks like. And some of the attributes we'll be talking about. So, number 1, mentor and coach your team. That should be in your timeline. Number 2, weekly team calls. How many of you were setting up team calls? Okay, we need more hands up there then. Okay, freeconferencecall.com is free. So you can just sign up for a free bridge. It holds up to, I think, 200 people. And you can gather with your team, whether it's 1 or 5 or 20, whatever it is. The goal is you want to minimize your time spent and maximize your results. So if you want to start talking to people instead of 1 at a time, have a team call. Delegate what those power hours are, okay? Don't let your business take over your life. If it's 5 to 9 on Thursday nights is when you're open to talk to your team members or you post to your customers, determine what those power hours are. How many of you, just by a raise of hands, or something from the job? Okay, so you really kind of have to do that, okay. Accountability calls and programs. CEOs make their staff or make their team members accountable. So, people do like to be accountable or have someone make them accountable. So don't be afraid about doing that. I know Christy created a nice group challenge or team challenge we can share later. So create systems and processes as CEOs. Again, when they buy a kit, it's your responsibility to give them a system to be successful. How many people join the business to fail? They join to be successful, right? So you want to give them that system. 5-star customer service. How many of you as CEOs make that at the top of your list? I think a lot of you do. 5-star customer service. And again, this is the year of customers. Last year was the year of distributors. It's really going to be about your customers this year, about the customer experience. Walk your talk. You can't get anybody to do anything unless you've done it. So when you're going after your team members to recruit, to sell, have class, or whatever, you have to walk your talk or lead by example. It's unfair to ask someone else to do that. Keep good records. I continually see that people don't realize the amount of tax write-ups that you have. Or, some of you, how many of you have offices in your home? You can, what you may already be doing, writing off square footage and part of your phone and part of your air conditioning and utilities and whatever. So again, really treat it like a business because it is a business. Most people start in direct selling and they wait till their income level is equal to their W-2 position and then they'll quit their business. So you really want to keep good records. Have great communication skills. Listen. The best attribute of a good salesperson is that they listen. Not that they talk, but that they listen. So make sure your communication skills are strong. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the DISC program. What I want to do tomorrow is have you guys leave with knowing who you are and why you talk the way you do, and then knowing who your prospects are, what the host is, and whatever, and how to dialogue with that host. Because how you talk to them needs to be different because you think different and they think different. Whether or not you're a high I or an S, what gets me excited may not get somebody else excited. So you want to mold that conversation to what excites them. And it's interesting. I've had people actually go home and use it in their marriage and with their kids, and it's actually helped every level of their life. So if anybody have ever heard of the DISC program? Good, okay, it's actually kind of good. Be reliant and be consistent. You heard Robin say consistency. Consistency is very, very critical. Be a visionary, have a dream. You can build your business around your dream because those people have dreams as well. But they'll follow you. Most great CEOs are very, very much visionaries. I worked for a visionary, I don't know if anybody knows, Montevideo Baskets in Ohio. It was a party plan company, a $1 billion basket company. And Dave Longaberger was probably the most visionary person I ever saw. Visionaries tend to live in the future, and they need to surround themselves with people who can actually get those ideas out. So he would be on stage and he would be talking about 5 or 10, 20 years from now, which nobody else could do because he was a true visionary, but he didn't know how to get there. So he created a team of people that took his vision and implemented the programs to get there. So make sure you have a dream and make sure you're a visionary. Be a leader that somebody wants to follow. Your great CEOs are really create that great vision or dream that people want to follow and get behind. 95% of America, people typically want to do their 9-to-5 job and have their TV dinner or whatever. We're trying to play it safe, I say. But there's that 5% of society that wants more. So you're part of that 5%. And when you're out finding that 5% that wants to take a risk to have a greater reward, that's what you're looking for. So you want more of one. Look professional and act professional. That means that, when you're on social media, you gotta watch what you say. When you're at a meeting, you gotta, a CEO has to be a certain type of personality for people to follow. Inspire. This is huge. And as I mentioned, recognition was number 2. Inspiring people to be greater as great as they can be. That's more important than money. So inspiring somebody is really important. And a great CEO will inspire. And actually, one of the number 1 things that, as I researched CEOs, was delegation. And as women, I know we're not always so good at delegating. So think about that more, delegating to your kids, to your spouse, to your team members. A good CEO will try to do everything. A lot of times in our team, we have people that are full-time marketers, full-time social media. You don't even know the talent that lies in our team. And by delegating out and getting them to help you to do things is pretty good. Have fun. How many of you guys laugh when you're doing your GSG life business? You laugh a little bit? You can feel the adrenaline, you can feel your body shifting. And Robin mentioned I was in beauty pageants, and we had, of course, a big smile, all the time. But you can actually, I could feel my muscles in my face were sore because I was smiling so much. But you can feel your body shift when you smile. And what I do, because recognition is so not out there in the corporate world today. When I travel, I do 10 compliments a day. And I always like to share that out of those 10 compliments, about 6 people don't know how to accept it. They're just in shock. They're like looking, are you talking to me? And so recognition is definitely lacking out there. And we definitely need it. As Robin mentioned, time management. We're going to be discussing what I call RGAs, revenue generating activities. And that's one of our segments. And we're going to talk about what drives revenue in your direct selling business and what doesn't. And you're going to start keeping a calendar and checking in once a day or once a week or once a month and making sure you're doing RGAs. We tend to get stuck in what I call minutia, kind of a safe place, kind of moving papers around and feeling like we're doing something. But by the time you ask yourself at the end of the day, which I do at the end of every day, how much of my time did I spend making money? So you really want to watch what you do. Okay. Being a CEO, being organized and managing your time. You want to make sure you treat your business as a business and not a hobby. Many of you guys have heard that before. Many people get into this industry and they're in a hobby mode and then they become business. So this is definitely not a hobby. This is something that's very serious, and I presume a lot of you want to get to a certain level and you can put your doings. So I'm going to go through a couple things that some of the top CEOs do in the world. I said number 1, delegation. That's big with CEOs. Get your spouses, or spouse, not spouses, your children, and you can actually get Social Security numbers for your kids now and just write them off and have them stuff and mail and do whatever. Surround yourself with great people. You don't, and I know you guys can relate to this, as well as a CEO in a big corporation. You don't want people draining you. You want to surround yourself with great people, people who have the same mission and vision. Don't let people drain you. A great suggestion is to really kind of let go and move on. When you feel you've reached your course and they don't respect your time, you let go. And letting go is probably the hardest thing to do for all of us. And sometimes by letting go, you can actually go back 2 months later and they're ready for it. And it's just, sometimes it's about letting go. You've got to respect your time and put your time where it's the most valuable. Have a vision. Be proud of your vision because you are giving a gift. Change lives for the greater, which is, I think, why everybody's here today. is to really make an impact on the world. When people see you making their lives greater, they become the most loyal advocates of you guys as their CEO. Create the vision that people can connect with. So when you create your vision, describe it so they can connect and follow. I've worked with companies where the vision is just so great. I'm like thinking much like with Robin. I'm like, wow, I have to be part of this. I mean, I really want to be part of this. I don't care what it takes to do it. And so make that where people want to connect. As I said, walk your talk and lead by example, but also with integrity. Integrity is pretty big in the world today. I've seen it disappear a little bit in the past. Create positive changes. Also create a fun and enjoyable environment. If 10 hours a week is all you can dedicate in this business, then I want you to own it and feel happy about it. Once you own it, you can add to it. So if you're working a full-time job and you're 2 hours a day, evenings, weekends, whatever it is all you can do, then as your check grows, you might feel that you can start adding hours. So definitely own it. Don't feel guilty, because I continually hear people say, I wish I could do this full time. But the game plan is you eventually will, but don't beat yourself up now until you get there. We talked about the return on the investment. So as you build your team as a CEO, that system will be in place to help them earn your money back. And that's called 90-day promise. How many of you in this room have actually achieved 90 days? I know we have. And you did, Crystal did. Okay, good. Okay, how many are on your team have you had, or has it been long enough?
West joined in June, so my team is.
Okay, and Whitney?
We don't have them yet.
Okay. See, you guys as achieving it definitely know what to do. And you're going to be hearing from Heather and Christy this afternoon, right, to talk about how to do that. So, and you're going to hear firsthand from how Heather did it. So that's great. And again, the more people come in with that system and they're successful, they're going to do it with your people. That's where duplication kicks in. We're going to talk about how to take 10 hours a week and turn it into 20 hours of results. So again, it's minimizing your time and maximizing your results. Determine your windows of time. If it's Saturday, 12 to 6, Friday nights, whatever night of the week, 5 to 7, whatever it is, don't let it take over your life. Get your team or your customer or your hostesses to be aware that these are the hours I dedicate to GSG life. So you can still have a normal life and go to the soccer games and do everything you need to do. We're also going to talk about the different ways for you to build your business. I know currently we do classes, but there's going to be a segment, I think it's tomorrow, we're going to talk about 13 ways to also do your business. And what we tend to do in the industry is pick 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 different ways to do your business, not just one. So that way, you're doing different venues of business. So, now, a couple things, again, with strong CEOs, making your follow-up calls. Sammy's going to talk a little bit about this, but where we tend to drop the ball is follow-up calls and time management. So, and host coaching calls, we're going to talk a little bit about host coaching. I've seen that actually personally talking to somebody where we dropped the ball on host coaching. So the event was not as strong as it should have been because there was no host coaching. Organize your paperwork and receipts, practice new programs and processes, read information or view webinars that are pertinent to the industry. Know your competition, know your market. Does everybody in this room follow what's that? I know you guys do as far as nutrition, but maybe who some of your competition is? When you talk to customers?
Yeah.
Who do you hear most?
I hear a lot of Beachbody.
Beachbody, yeah, they've been around for a while. By here, by Salis, it's Isagex, Advocare, been around for a long time. Okay. It works, yes, they're rocking. Yeah, I mean, what's funny, I know all those companies. I think the cleanest products. I mean, look back, this is GSG Life, but I know Isogenics has done a good job. But the problem is, I think with labeling, you don't have to list every ingredient. So sometimes companies sneak in ingredients that they shouldn't to give it a filler and every single supposed to. Yeah. Very. Yeah, so she's good. So know your competition and know how to respond. So you guys know what to say back, right? In some instances. Put your host packets together and be prepared. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the host coaching process. So you're prepared to have a little package to give your host who's going to have a class for free. Place ads on Facebook or social media. Create flyers for events that can promote your business. How many of you give away baskets, GSG Life baskets to local charities or events that might bring you business? Once you do that, you value that basket, and that's a tax write-off. So that's great for you to really get the brand out into your community. How many of you have joined the Chamber of Commerce or any women's groups in that area? That's also good too. Toastmasters and things like that are great because it's great practice. And a lot of CEOs do that. You know, you're not born to be a CEO. You really have to really learn the attributes. If it's tough to really manage people, manage a company, and have a vision all at the same time. So you really have to self-teach yourself. Make your customer care calls each week as well. Make sure that that's on your agenda. Spend time in the back office reviewing things. How many of you do that? Any updates? Good. That's more than I thought. Good, good. Because there's always great stuff. I always say just a lot, 10, 15 minutes a day, and just sit back there. Your pajamas. Again, this is the only industry you can wear pajamas. And check out the back office for the latest new updates or whatever. Have goals, and each one of you have your own personal goals as CEOs that create a plan of action. We have in your handouts a business plan template for 2016. And some of you, some of the founders and masters have already filled it out. But I would, after the event tomorrow, I would fill out your year and kind of game plan where you want to be. The goal of obviously of our retreat is that, and why Robin and Nikki and Kristen and Andy and Amy and Sammy wanted to have this event, is that we get you rock and roll in the first of the year for the investment program. So the goal is everyone becomes silver, but what you might want to do on your business plan is create a plan of action on how you're going to get there and just chunk it out. I would suggest you just maybe say, I want to be a silver by April, and then just work backwards how you're going to get there. And just do small chunks, that's not scary. Obviously, you all want to be profitable, right? You want to be, you're putting money into your business, and a good CEO always wants to have especially if they have a board of directors, they want to be profitable. So every CEO wants to make sure they're in a profitable mode. So if you're putting money out, that's why you want to value your time. So managing your time. Time management is probably one of my best attributes because unfortunately my work week is probably 60 hours a week, but I have to manage my time. So every minute of my day is a common force. So, and that doesn't always come with certain personalities, as we'll learn tomorrow on the disc. I'm more of a D, so that's very common on a D, but it's important that you really just check in and see your hours during the day because they do slip away. And I don't even get how some of you are kids with 6 kids, and I don't know how anybody, I can barely take care of myself. So, so let's talk about some time management things. 80-20 rule, and we're going to go through the RGAs, but 80% of your day, week, and month should be creating. Stop yourself. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Talk just a little louder about the
Okay.
Thank
Some
you.
time management ideas. 80% of your time.
Sorry, I just want to, I didn't see it, but I had on page 4. I'm just trying to find it. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Business up on the business plan.
Sorry, that's one rule.
Oh, it's there. Okay, clear. Okay. Okay, everything we're talking about should be in the next reminder. 80/20. 80% of your day, week and month, should be driving revenue. And we're gonna go through what that revenue activity looks like. So stop yourself when you're spending all of your time not creating revenue. Because what you do today is in your check next month, right? So 20% of your time has to be dedicated to admin. You guys do your taxes, you gotta do your paperwork, there's no way around it. If you're smart, you'll pay someone to do it, because your time is actually more, you can get more back in your time if you give someone $10 an hour to do that. So 80/20. At the end of the week, you wanna monitor, go through your list and see where you're at. Your first several weeks of your business is really kind of creating your foundation. Anybody in this room brand new to the business, so I can also have been around for a while? You just had, oh wow, okay, when did you get started?
December.
Did you make 90-day plans?
Not yet, but I still have.
It's only your first 90 days.
He's really close though, because
But I
he's
still
well over
have
1,000 in December, so he's like,
Oh,
yeah. We had 5 new
We're working on
customers.
it.
good. Okay,
5 new customers this first month.
okay. Good, okay, great, okay, good. And you?
I started today, or yesterday.
Oh my God! Wow, so this is perfect timing. So you need to listen to the new instructor training, it's a recording, and then that'll kind of get you, I think it's 25 slides, and that'll get you through what to do in the first 90 days. And then hopefully you've done it too, so, but this is perfect timing for you. We want to hear from you in 90 days. Host packets is, again, getting your kids and your spouses and getting people involved. Delegation is, and again, I'm the worst myself, but let go, let other people help you, spend your time creating revenue, but always be prepared. Have host packets, brochures, business cards, have everything in your car, your purse. If you've got 1 hour on a Sunday and you're watching a football game and you're not excited, go ahead. Put host packets together and create whatever you can so you're ready for the week. Let's see. Robin talked a little bit about planning out your week, 4 classes a month, and I always say double book. If you want to have 4 classes, you really want to book 6 because you know you're going to cancel. So if your goal on your business plan template is 4 a month, you definitely. So plan out that month. And I like to see, I'm still, who in this room is still a paper person when it comes to calendars? Anybody besides me? I don't even know how to open my calendar on my phone. But when I go into events, and I'll give an example as a party, I attend Stella and Donna, Ruby Ribbon. I try to go to parties every week because I want to see what companies are doing. And what is most popular is when the distributor lays out a calendar. You know, it's a visual. We're all very visual. Someone brought that up earlier. But when you look and you go, oh my God, you're busy with parties. Can I get myself, can I squeeze myself in? And so have your calendar out. But I always recommend put your personal stuff down first, your soccer games, your blog, all of your personal stuff first, and then have your calendar with you at all times. And especially at your classes or your parties, and they can just walk over and kind of book themselves if they have to. And I always remember that with real estate agents. I don't know if there's a real estate agent in the room today, but real estate agents tend to try to look very busy. And the busier they look, the more in demand they are. So part of it is, I always kind of say, fake it till you make it. You know, you don't want to make it look like I have nothing else to do for the next 3 months. You want it, it's kind of supply and demand, like they do with cars, like with the Lexus, is you have to go on back order to order a car because so many people want it. So make yourself look like you're in demand. You have to think a little bit to do that. But you want to honor your own schedule and book out your personal time first. Determine how you're going to communicate with your audience. We're going to talk about that with the disc program, but you've got millennials, and you've got baby boomers, and you've got Gen X and Gen Y. So when you have your classes and your events, how do you communicate to your host or to your customers? You want to communicate in the way they want to be communicated. Now, I know I have a client who's a millennial. Now, obviously I'm a baby boomer, so I pick up the phone, I walk into someone's office, I hug them, and the millennials tell me, go over in the corner and Skype me. And can we just talk? And, so it's all about figuring out not what is good for you, but how to communicate. So I always say, what is your best form of communication? Let's say you're talking to your host. Would you prefer I text you, email you, or call you? Find out what they prefer, because that locks them in. A lot of times when you call them, they don't tell you that. But if they say that that's their best form of communication, now they're accountable. So make sure you ask them, not what's good for you, but what's good for them. And definitely, I think a phone call is the best way to go.
Can I just share something about that?
Yeah.
So, we all hear the golden rule, treat everyone like the golden rule, treat them like how you want to be treated, but have you heard of the platinum rule, where you treat them how they want to be treated?
Yeah, that's good, Okay, she deserves, here, platinum rule. That's the way it should be, yeah. And I guess next we'll have a bronze rule and silver. Okay, determine your actions and spend time on your actions, not on minutia. I always like to describe insanity means doing the same thing over and over, and I keep this in my bathroom because I see this all the time. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. How many of us do that? Yeah, I think we all do that. So it's important that you go back and say, my business is not running perfect. I'm not shifting. My check is getting smaller. What am I doing? And of course, you're doing the same thing over and over again. What am I doing that needs to change? So think about insanity.
I have a question. How do you know, like, say for example, newsletter. I try to do things that are consistent, but I really don't know that they're generating. Does that make sense? I don't really see the good it's doing, but I feel like the consistency. How do you determine those types of
Newsletter? Okay, so a newsletter has a change with live instructors to your customers. Are you doing a customer newsletter or a team newsletter?
Customer.
Okay, so I always create a sense of urgency when I communicate. When the ambassador circle, anything we do, I have to do something emotionally compelling to get someone to get up and do something. So what you might do, and what's going on now, I think, with MailChimp and a couple of companies is there's analytics where you can see what they read.
Yeah.
And that'll give you the results.
I see that. It looks good, but I just don't, it's not something I can like visually see, like people start calling me right off, like my phone starts turning up. I just don't know like how to measure some of those things.
Okay, so sense of urgency, maybe you have a date on your newsletter, so you log that in, week 1, week 2, week 3. If you reach out to me in the next 3 days, exactly what we're doing with the opportunity card, you will get this added to your next, or I'll send it to you when your auto ship goes out or whatever. So give a window of time and then put a date. This is newsletter number 3. So then each time you do that, you can see which newsletter is working and which one is not. But give that sense of urgency. I do it on everything I do. Is give them a reason to move fast. So remember insanity. Create a recipe card, write it down, put it on your bathroom window or mirror or whatever. Just remember, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and not moving forward, you need to take a look at what you're doing. Also, learn to let go. I see it all the time in the industry that you end up spending time almost like a bartender, a psychiatrist. People can get emotional, times are tough, the economy's tough. And what I do when I start my calls is I say, hi Sally, I have 15 minutes dedicated to you completely. And then you know that she's got to get to the point of the call. Because if it's somebody who is a talker or somebody who really kind of needs a psychiatrist more than a CEO or another one, she knows she has, or he knows they have 15 minutes. So really control your time. And if you feel that 15 minutes is enough, say, you know what, let's go ahead and schedule another 15 minutes for you tomorrow. And then they start to honor your time. Okay, but let go. Because I've seen people work with people, begging, it's just a mission to them to get someone to sign up. They spend 6 months, nothing. Value your time, let go and move on, and you know what, they'll come back. Duplication. Let's see. I'm going to show you the penny duplication later on. The key in making money in this business and honoring your time freedom and your financial freedom is duplication. So don't create any systems that only you can do, because it's never going to work. Make sure your system is duplicatable, and then get everyone to do the same thing. Because it's like raising children, and I know you can kind of follow what this feels like. You enroll 3 people, it's like you're raising 3 people, you're helping them raise 3 people, and you're helping them. So it's really like birthing children. So whatever you do is exactly what they do. So you just want to remember that.
I have read that in order to get that you should be able to teach it to a 9-year-old, and that's like the standard. You can teach it to a 9-year-old, and then everybody can get that.
Yeah, talking in layman's terms, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Good, you're loading up on symbols, that's good. Okay, so next up, let's see, we're good on time, okay. Next up, we're going to talk about sealing the deal, or closing the deal, sharing. You've heard of the ABCs, right? Always be closing. So at the end of your thought, the goal is that they either become a customer, a host, or a distributor, or an instructor, right? So always be in the ABCs mode. And again, I think we have this handout. Closing and follow-up is actually where all of us drop the ball. We spend so much time trying to build that we forget to do the stuff in the background. So we really drop the ball on the follow-up. Don't forget the resource of people already in love with you or your hosting customers. So go after them first. If you're looking to sponsor instructors, talk to your hosts and your customers. Has anybody talked to a customer about becoming an instructor and earning enough to pay for their products they love so much? Have you gone to your customer base? No? Yes. Okay, how many of you have converted them to instructors? Good. And how many of you had problems? They just didn't want to? No, I'm still working on it. All right, okay. Your customers are already in love with you and the product. Why not say, listen, and I used to say Sally, listen, Sally, your auto ship is $100 a month. Why don't we talk about how I can help you make money to pay for that auto ship? I mean, they don't have to do it full time. It's just really compensating for their auto ship. So, January, I'll tell you, January Q1 is the best time to recruit. Everybody has their Christmas bills. So you've got your Christmas bills in there. This is when people, this is the biggest month for recruiting. So when those bills start coming in, this major depression kicks in and everybody wants to make money. So, and look younger and feeling. Okay, so sealing the deal. How did you get, so when you're getting, we're going to go through a couple ways of closing, but always remember how you got that lead. If that lead came from a friend, you're going to treat them different. If that lead came from a corporate, you treat them different. If it's a personal friend, you treat them different. So just remember where that lead came from. A good salesman always lets the prospect talk. Let them talk. Find out what makes them tick. Whether it's money, gratification, recognition, whatever. Work on that with them. What's in it for me or what's in it for them. Find out their hot points. Determine the best way to communicate to that new prospect. If it's a millennial, you're going to have to talk different.
What do you mean when you say millennial?
Millennials are 25 to 35. Gen X, Gen Y is 35 to 45. And then baby boomers, I think, are 50 and higher, I think it is. So I'm definitely baby boomer, so I think it's very different. So I think, and I even with my client who's a millennial, I even used to work, and I act cool, and, you know, and I wear these boots that are all really cute, you know, I try to be cool, because that's who they are, you know, we've got life different. Okay, do you know that they buy you first and GSG Live second? So when you're sealing the deal, it's about you. Because, you know, I see it so much. A lot of people out there recruiting, and people will say, you know, I want to join the company, but I'm not sure I want to join their benefits. And it's really up to the person who prospecting. They join whoever they want to join with, but they're buying you first. So the more you look like you have system support, they're going to be successful. They're going to buy you. So they buy you, then they buy GSG Live. Nobody wants to fail, everybody wants to be successful. Okay, so I think I've got everything. So let's go through closing options. So first up is the takeaway close. Anybody do any different type of, anybody in sales, I guess would be the best way to ask, in a different job? Oh, wow. And pharmaceuticals probably a big close, because it's a high ticket.
Always
Yeah, all ABCs. And you're dealing with doctors or they're the toughest. Yeah. So the takeaway close is by taking something away. So the takeaway close is really big in car industry. What is that? The Tesla. So they're only making a certain amount of Teslas. So when people come in to buy a Tesla, there's no cars available. So they're taking that car away from them, yet the consumer wants to buy. So they all kind of rush in to make sure that they can buy a car because it's being taken away. It's a great marketing strategy because when you take something away from somebody, what happens? They want it more, right? So a takeaway is, and I put an example on the page here, if you sign up this week, you get this. If you wait till next week, you will pay full price or you won't get anything. And I just use this for an example. So if you tell them if they don't do something today, they're not going to get it next week. So think about a customer. So if a customer becomes a preferred customer, maybe you give them some single serving samples, but we're only doing that through Sunday midnight. So it won't be available next week. So that's a takeaway. If an instructor is going to join your team, maybe you say for the month of January, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an extra $100 in profit or whatever, but I'm not doing that in February. So would you like to sign up in January? So you're taking something away. You're giving them a choice that you're creating that sense of urgency, right? So when they feel like they're gaining something by doing it now, they're more apt to do that. So what do you think is more popular, 25% off or a free product? Exactly. Do you know psychologically when they do those kind of campaigns that they monitor what is more effective if someone's buying is getting a discount or getting a free product? So a free product has more of an impact. Okay? So an optional close.
When you give away a free product, that's tax deductible, right?
See, that's built into her brain. Absolutely, everything you give away is a cost. Yes, absolutely. You're carrying that in your car or whatever. Absolutely. How many of you staple your single servings with your card in time? Good. Okay. Great. How many of you put something on the back of your card just to be different?
On my single servings.
Oh, good.
I just put all my content. I thought you meant.
Oh, okay. You can get Avery labels at the Staples or Office Depot. Put something catchy on the back of your card. Because cards are cards, right? And I don't know if the back of our card clean. Nothing's on it, right?
No,
It says taking away the standard banner.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you could still put something, because that's on the website.
If you brought your card today, bring it to me.
But
Have it on you and see it.
you can get every label and you can say, if you call me in the next week, or whatever you want to do, I'll give you something. You can create your own incentives or campaigns and put it on the back of your card, because all these cards sit in someone's home or office or car or whatever. And when they read your card, that saying on the back is something different. Not a lot of people do that. So you want your card to stand up. Okay, optional close is, do you want to, I'm looking for entrepreneurs in Utah to join my team. We're going global. Would you like kit number 3 or kit number 4? What is that? That's an open-ended. You didn't give them a chance to say no, right? So open-ended. Always be open. Don't let them say no. So would you like to get started today? I'm giving a special. Everybody who signs up on my team gets $100 in prize. Would you like kit number 3 or kit number 4 today? And see what they say. That's hard to wiggle on. So that's an optional close. Okay. And then an objection close. Anybody know what that means? People have objections. What? Oh,
It's basically just when they say, well, I don't have time for doing that, and so you
Yes.
confirm, okay, is this an
Yeah.
issue? And if I take that away from you, would you be interested in working with me
good.
then?
Did you read that? Good. That's
I've
good.
studied
You're in
some
sales. And you're also on a couch. You're really Isolate their objection. That's part of what we're going to do with WIFM, learning more about their hot points. Isolate their objections. So if time is an issue and I help you determine how to get around that issue, would you consider joining my team? Now, if they say no, then there's another objection, right? They say yes, that's their only objection. Now, they could say no again, and then you might say, okay, what else can I help you with? And it might be, well, money. So if I show you how to remedy the money and the time, would you consider joining my team? So what that does is it helps you isolate the concern and find out really what's going on, right? Now, I always say time is the #1 issue in the industry, and money is #2. So how do you get around time? Anybody have any ideas? I always say TV time. Do you know the average American watches 34 hours a week of TV? Average. So, I mean, some are worse, some are better. Everybody has TV time. How would you like to turn your TV time into making money? How many of you have car time? How many of you spend a couple hours a day or 10 hours a week in your car? So everybody has car time and TV time. And we all have 24/7, and we're all busy. We all busy. I mean, we all have the same thing going on. But people who actually start making money all of a sudden have time. So people, it's all about prioritizing. People can make it happen. It's just, do they really need to happen? And I'd like to see more car time replaced with doing productive stuff. And TV, it was pretty sad to see the average American is 34 hours, which I'm sure most of it's football.
Sorry, I'm just wondering if you'll elaborate more on the car time. I mean, other than listening and maybe making calls, like how are you solving that other than talking your home?
You're making your host calls. Now, I'm in California, so our car time is a lot. So I have a speaker in my car, so I can do my host follow-up calls, my customer care calls. I can get all my calls out of the way for the week in my transportation.
So you are advising replacing the TV time using the car time for the business, right?
Well, I'm trying to help you. Whoever has a time issue when they're signing up and they have a time issue, they don't have enough time in the day, then say we can help you use your car time and your TV time, and we can help you find something. But yeah, it's good to be productive and use your car time, at least in California, for your business. Okay, so learn to let go, find someone new. You're going to hear a lot, talk to 3 to 5 people a day. I'm going to give you some interesting stats. I know all of you talk about the products, right? Every one of you are passionate about it. How many of you every day find the opportunity with your product discussions? None of you do?
Say that for me.
Well, as you're talking about the product, are you talking about the opportunity in the same conversation? No. No, okay. So you might learn how to piggyback your product discussions and add an opportunity discussion on that. Because you should be talking about the opportunity as much as the product. So if you talk to 100 people, let's say 3 people a day, and it's easy to do 3 people a day. I did that just in the show. And they couldn't get out. There were 7 people they couldn't leave. So that's 90 days, 90 people a month. So 3 a day, 30 days, 90. The ratio of the stats is about 20% will be interested. So that's what, 18 people. About 10 of those would sign, and about 5 of those would be business members. So the more you talk to, the better your conversion rate is. So try to get those 90 or 2 a day or 60 or 1 even 30. But it's really boils down to interesting, right? The industry, the more you talk to.
This might be backing up, but what do you do with people that tell you they think the product's too expensive? How do you resolve that?
Well, GSG-like products are actually not.
They're not.
I think it's where they're coming from. Money could be an issue to them, so anything's expensive. Obviously, they can sign up and get the products at an instructor price or a preferred customer price. But what you could do is turn that around and say, if money's an issue, let me show you how to make enough money to pay for those products. And then you turn it to the business opportunity. Yeah.
Is that I have some people who they're actually saving a lot of money by doing this because, and then I just share with them, they, like I have one guy who he's out working all the time early in the morning, so every morning he gets McDonald's and just feels like crap all the time. And then he finally, when he looked at getting this stuff, how much it would be, and then he actually looked at how much he's been spending at McDonald's. Oh my gosh, he saved so much money. And then people who, doctor's bills, medical bills, prescriptions, all that stuff that then they're not spending that much, saving so much money. Not everybody has that, but a lot of people. Or just saying, how much money would you be spending on junk food? Like, you can kind of, anyway, so.
Okay, now that's good. That's a visual.
That's
Starbucks,
I talk about
$5
that
a day,
every time.
30, 150 bucks a month. So maybe do a visual and say you back out that, you covered your costs. Good idea.
Well, I have one comment to make and then I have a question for you. But with that, one of the quotes that I tell people, when I get that response, I tell them, well, you can look at it this way. You can either spend some of your time and money now taking care of your health and getting better, or in the end, you're going to spend all of your money taking time
Another
taking
health.
care of your health if you're in the hospital or getting prescriptions or whatnot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just kind of
That's
a
a good
good way to think about it.
Yeah.
And then my question for you is, if you're going to share the opportunity side of it with everyone that you're talking to about the product, can you give us an example of how you share the opportunity when you're talking about the product without making it look like you're just trying to get a recruit or
It's funny.
add to your team? Because I feel like I don't want people to feel like I'm putting that impression on them, even though that's not mine, and I know how amazing the opportunity is. I don't want to come across that because I think a lot of people have the impression that, oh, she just wants me to join her team.
It's funny, that's a big barrier. Thank you for sharing. I think, and Utah's a big hub for excellent things. We tend to prejudge, and I think we have to step back because sometimes we feel guilty, but we don't know how they're going to react. So I think when you present the opportunity in a professional manner, it's okay to say no. I look at it more, I want to share it with the world and make it more about stimulating their quality of life, not as a business opportunity. But that's, I think psychologically, because I think we tend to really, I'm going to hold back because I feel kind of, and if you're talking about the product and you just say, hey, I can show you how to pay for your products, and just make it simple.
Part of that, going off what you just said, the psychology of that is if you're having that conversation with somebody, if you have no expectations, they will feel that and they will be able to make the decision based on, is this a good idea for me or not? So it kind of takes out that, oh, they're just trying to get me to sign up for their team and make money. But it's this, I'm bringing this up because this is a great opportunity.
Yes.
And there's no expectation attached to it. Even mentally, we're not thinking about that. It's just part of what we do. And I think that comes with practice, like what you've been talking about.
Yeah.
Let me do one of these first. So I'm a Sunday school teacher, and so pardon me for bringing religion to this. But, somebody gave me a really great frame of mind change. And this is about Jesus going out and teaching. And when he talked about dusting off your feet, you know, you go and you share the message. And this is what he taught his disciples or apostles. Go and share the message, be in their homes, be with them. But, you know, and if they don't want to listen, then you dust your feet off. A lot of times you think of that as a curse. But really this is your dust. I'm leaving it with you. And I'm going to go on. And so I think that goes with what you're saying. They get that sense that if you're doing a curse, that's one thing. But if it's, you know, I'll move on.
And I think it's in your own brain. You bring up a good point. And when you make it fun and just very casual, I think then it goes. It goes wherever it's supposed to go.
I think it's important too to not let, you know, what we think comes. So if you think they're going to think I'm selling, then they probably will.
Yeah.
But as you talk, then let them know that you're not sharing it because you want to recruit, but because this is just something so great that you just have to share it. Like my mom,
It's your duty.
yeah, my mom is not a salesperson at all. And every time I talk to her about the business, I'm always like, you know, it's just talking and sharing and just living my life. And then people are intrigued. And she's like, oh, I could never do that. And then she's telling me about how she bought a Shark vacuum. And I showed, my cousin came over doing the plumbing and I showed him all about my vacuum and all the appliances. Well, he bought one. And then her sisters all bought one. And then I bought one. There was like 10 people she shared her vacuum with that all bought one because they saw
That's our history. Real quick, just a couple, because we're running out of time. Hold that thought, okay? Carolyn, hold that thought. To your point, I think we tend to prejudge, because I do the same. I feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. Throw it out there. Whatever happens, happens. But you can also show them how to take it apart. I saw this on the plane coming through, and I thought it was interesting. I'm looking for modern day entrepreneurs who can help us launch the fastest growing premium skincare company in America. No mention of direct selling. And global. We are redefining skincare sales as an e-commerce biz. Everyone's saying that. Less than 6% of population even has access to these products. You guys. Because it's only e-commerce in this. Yet it's risen to be one of the leading beauty companies in the world. Watch this video to hear how we've experienced triple-digit growth, people love to hear that, since pulling out of Macy's and Nordstrom's, and entering this channel, and how it's risen to be one of the top premium skincare brands in America. Who do you think it is?
Sarah Rodan.
No mention of direct selling and no land. So it's all in how you say your story. Because I was like, I'm joining, I didn't know it's and it's power words, entrepreneur, global. Those are the words, those are power words. So when you're creating your story, use those power words. We've got 2 minutes left. I put a page in your packet that's about writing a 3-minute commercial. I told you how to write it. I'm not going to break up and do it now, but maybe tonight, what we can do is if you write down your commercial, and if you want to share it tomorrow, I'll give you a sample page. There's also a page on the business opportunity, and I made a list on kind of how to share the opportunity. But I think you also got a copy of Robin's story. Remember? I think it's in there. Okay. And you guys probably hate hearing my voice, but you hear it every a couple nights ago, at least every month. We packaged her story into what is that? Probably 10 minutes. I mean, it's hard to really condense it on the door.
I think it was in the last opportunity call, it was only 17 minutes long. I found it. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Giving a story, including
Right.
17 minutes.
Right, plus we get away, so I kind of take it back to 10 or 12%. So we cover a lot. We tell the story, make it emotional, and make it compelling. So try to do that same thing. I mean, that Rodan and Fields thing was pretty powerful. That was pretty quick. So, okay, anybody need to go to the bathroom? You okay? We're going to move right into the post coaching. And if anybody wants to see this Rodan and Fields thing,
Where did they get that? Where did you find that?
I'm on Facebook, this was Facebook. Yeah, I guess with her, and she had it on Facebook. I follow everybody. I follow Rodanna Castellano.
Can we hear Carolyn's comment?
Oh, I was just gonna say, sometimes we don't wanna own the influence that we have on people. But think of all the things, like the example she was saying about how many times you influence other people. So part of that is a product that you look at about. But this is hard to.
Absolutely. I get, 35 years again, I started on spine, so, I'm still very young, not anymore. I get probably 5 calls a day. Michelle, you gotta buy this amazing mascara, it makes my lashes lengthen. I go, okay, if you love it that much, okay. Michelle, you gotta buy this great, go buy Apple, that's GSG. Michelle, you gotta buy this great, Woody Ribbon is a new, you guys know Spanx, so they have the, control thread, it's a proprietary, so everything you wear makes you look thin, and so I buy that. Cabby's having a fashion show, I buy their jewelry, so, and I only do it because of how passionate, I don't know anything about it, but everyone calling me, they're just so excited, and if they're excited, I want to do it. So, my entire house is direct selling, so. Okay, so making your host your business partner. We're now going into our next segment. I know Christy wanted me to bring something, so I listened to Christy, that was like a month ago. One of my past clients was Origami Owl. Anybody know Origami Owl or where they're wonderful jewelry? This is their host packet. So I was describing this to Christy, and we thought, why not talk about this? So, making your host your partner, your business partner, because your host will determine your class success or failure. It's not you, it's really what she does. So we're gonna go through a list of things on how to make her your partner, him or her, it can be anybody. But the time you invest with that person is gonna determine the success of the party or class. So what we did at Origami Owl is we just took a folder, you guys can do this. So on the front of it is the distributor instructor information, and it asks her for her wishes and dreams and what does she want to achieve through this class. How much product credit, what is her goal? Because you take her goal, does she want to have $1,000 party or class, or did you do that? Or does she just want to have fun for the night, or whatever it is. So you really kind of get the wish list, and then you help her determine how to get there. Then you put your catalogs, your order forms, whatever you need, your samples, everything into this. So when she books, if you're at a class and she's a new host and she's booking a class with you, you give her this packet. So she creates her wish list. Here's the host rewards program. Everything's all here. And then what I love about this is that I call this the memory jogger, is that a lot of us don't really know how many people we really know. So this gives her something where she can create her list of attendees. And then he or her, and then you can share this, and you can help that person call the guest, email, mail. I still love a nice card and mail, but not everybody does that. And then it just creates excitement, and she can earn, he or she can earn. So you can go to Staples and just get your pocket folders and create your own post packets.
And we are working on our own version. There's some good ideas from various places. But it'll be a little bit, we're still in development. We want to get the best ideas and collect them and make it great.
I was just gonna share, since I've been in other direct sales companies before, I've done those packets and they work so well. And it's a great opportunity to do recruiting time as well and put in, what comes in the starter kits in the business kit and let them know, or put in, the commission and just give them the opportunity there too, because.
The 9 steps to make, or 6 ways to make money, absolutely, yeah, just simple, never do too much in the company. But that's a system, so the host packet is a system. And then when she sees it's easy, compacted, she's gonna wanna maybe become an instructor and do that as well. So when you make it easy and fun and duplicatable, So, and we got a lot on our list for 2016. We're meeting here on Monday to go through all of our projects for the rest of the year. So you should have a host becoming your business partner sheet. For your host, you should be going after everybody, customers. Don't be afraid to ask someone to host a class or party. I firmly believe in a repeat host program. There's no reason why a host can't host a class every single month. You can create like a loyalty program like American Airlines where every time a host, can you guys hear me okay? Every time a host has a class or party, you punch your card. And then if she has 3 or 4 in a given year or 12-month period, she gets something special. Have like a repeat host club because that host already knows how to have a successful class or party. So and they're already loyal. So go after your host to keep booking as well. Establish the key is make your host your partner. Get her wish list. Get her thinking with him what's in it for her. She's gonna, once she has her wish list together, she's gonna be more excited. She's gonna talk to her friends and be excited. Because she's the one that's getting people to attend this class, not you. And if she's not excited, you're gonna have 0 people at that class. So you wanna keep her pumped up. Remember at a class or party, and I usually say events, you wanna educate and entertain, okay? And I know I mentioned that earlier, but the more fun you have, the more you're gonna have fun at this particular event. You can do themed parties, you can do icebreakers, you can have everyone pull out their purse and the person with the red lipstick gets this, or whatever you want to do, but make it interactive and make it fun. Sometimes people just need to get together with friends and have fun. And sometimes they have a glass of wine, sometimes they do things they're not supposed to, whatever, but it's just getting a break and getting together with friends. Make your host your business partner and always think about your host as a potential instructor. Again, don't prejudge. She may be a great instructor. She may be ready to rock and roll. As she sees you do this process, she's watching everything you're doing. If you want 20 people at your event, you've got to invite 40. What happens is, you know how it is, people cancel. So you work with your host, and once you determine what he or she wants to earn, you double invite. So if she's trying to get to a $1,000 class or a $500 class, you make sure you over-invite because you've got a good 25 to 40% that are going to cancel and or not even show up, right? And also, pre-orders and post-orders. So how many of you guys, when you open up your party on your software or your class, it means the same thing. Do you have people, those people who don't attend that class, place an order? Your host can take pre-orders and post-orders. I've gone to parties where the host has $500 in orders and the party hasn't even started. Because she took pre-orders from those that couldn't attend. They went to her website, they looked at what they wanted, and they placed an order, I guess, on the order link. With InfoTrax, we have a link.
Chris Willard, and I can tell you better.
Okay.
There's a hostess site
Okay.
that we set up, there is a link, we give the hostess the link, and she just sends anyone to the link, and they just go right to it, and they can order.
Perfect.
It's really easy.
So everybody that RSVPs, I'm gonna get you later. Everybody that RSVPs and says no, take an order. They don't have to be there to place an order. So get those pre-orders and get those post orders. So once your party closes that night, you can still have the host take post orders. I think we give them 5 days.
The party's open for 30 days total, right? So we're talking about the parties.
Yeah.
The party's open for 30 days. So from the time that you open it to the time that you close it, unless you close it earlier. Unless you close it earlier, you have to.
Okay, so in those 30 days when you open it, if your party's on the 25th, then you have 5 more days too. So she can go out after for those that didn't attend and gather orders. Remember, her goal is to meet her wish list. If she's looking for that $1,000 party, you're telling her everything she needs to do. That physical event doesn't have to be the only, as long as she's communicating excitement, she can take pre and post. I've done a party where one person showed up. Her pre-orders were $500 and her post orders were $500. She had one person, she had $1,000. Because she wanted it. I think it was Kathy, she wanted that pen. I mean, she, do or die, she wanted that specific level of this. So as long as you get them pumped and wanting to achieve that. And again, work those RSVPs that say no. When people can't come to a class, do you guys gather the information? So you have that. Okay, good. Okay, cool. Have the host ask her family and friends each to bring someone with them. So if the goal is to have 40 or 20 people at the event, ask each person, the person who brings the most friends or 2 friends or more gets a special gift. Ask them to bring somebody as well if you're trying to boost attendance. Have your host, talk to your host and find out all of your friends that are coming, what kind of icebreakers and what kind of themes would you like? Party themes are very, very popular. And the more fun you have at a party, the more the sales go up. Did you know that an average party, when there's an actual game at a party, has a higher show average than when you just sit there? So just by having fun and interacting and doing something, you could have a higher show average and a higher guest purchase average. So make it fun. And it could be tidbits on health. You know, you could give people raffle tickets and just say, hey, I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you get a ticket if you respond correctly. So. Also talk to your host about everyone who's coming to the event. Ask your host, out of the 20 coming, how many of them might be interested in business opportunity? Just so I get an idea ahead of time. Sally, Nora, Lucifer, those people are interested in the opportunity. So I go, oh gosh, okay, I know who to pull aside and talk to. So get to know a little personality in some of the people.
But don't sign with the devil.
I don't know what to say, but at least you'll know ahead of time. So maybe Sally might say, who's your host? Nora is going through a divorce and she doesn't have enough money to pay her mortgage. So maybe you know enough ahead of time to earmark and say, you know, I got to talk to Nora and so and so and so and so. And then maybe your host also tells you that 4 or 5 people are interested in becoming customers. So when you walk into that party, as an instructor, you're greeting everyone that walks in, and you're making your host your business partner. Your host should always kick off the event because those are her friends. So she introduces you, she's connected to them, so she gets them ready. She announces the start of the presentation, and you walk up. But at least you know, God, I got to talk to her before they all leave. You have a game plan. You know exactly who might be interested in even being a host. And then obviously have your calendar out as well. Now, back to that sense of urgency, I always say, you know what? I have my calendar out right here. The first person who books the GSG Live class, I'm going to give you a $25 gas card. And when I say the first person or the first 3, that gets people kind of moving. So create that sense of urgency. And then while you're having that class or party, your host can come up at the end and stand next to you. Again, these are his friends, so get go to his friends. And you can say, you know, Sally, after tonight, is going to earn so much in free product. This is what she's receiving. So people can get a visual on what little or fun she had, but little she did. You never want to make a class look like it was hard to put together. And then the audience is going to say, "Whoa, I want to kind of get what she's getting." So it's nice to have her say and talk about what she might be receiving. Have your host create a fun invite process. How many of your hosts do they email, text, mail? Do you guys have kind of a variety of what they do? They do a little bit of everything. Okay. You should never book a party, and again, I mean class or party, more than 2 to 3 weeks out. And you know why? So when you have your calendar out, don't book it 2 months out, don't book it 3 months out. What they're trying to do is they're telling you they're too busy. If you book it farther than 3 weeks, people lose excitement. So keep it tight. I've seen party to party to party to party more successful when there's only food in the because then everyone's so excited. So keep it tight. If they're trying to book you in the end of 2016, say, you know what, I'll call you then. Once they're booked as a new host, what you want to do is meet with them in person within 2 to 3 days and give them their new host package. Because once you lock in a date, you want to sit down and talk to them about their roles and responsibilities. Again, they're the driver of the success of the event. So you meet with them and give them their host package. 2 to 3 days, not any longer, because then they're going to try to cancel. So once you leave that event that night, you lock them in and say, can I meet with you Tuesday at 2 o'clock? And I'll give you your host packet, or you give it to them that night and say, we're going to go over your roles and responsibilities, and we're going to make this a $1,000 class. So typically what's been the most successful is a 3 touch point. You heard Robin talk about that a little bit, is you meet with them, you follow up, number 2, and number 3, you follow up. So 3 touch points. The third is really getting the RSVPs and confirming. What I call it is the first you meet person, 2, you just touch base, and 3, you confirm. So you really, because you want to know what you're walking into. Do you have 20 RSVPs or do you have 100 RSVPs? You know, where am I going to be doing my class or party? Am I going to be stuck in the back near the bathroom? How are we going to set things up? And so you really kind of want to know what the game plan is. So really 3 steps or 3 touch points. Pre and post orders. Let's see, what else? I talked about that. And also ask your host if she's interested in becoming an instructor. It doesn't hurt to do that as well. Some people guard their hostesses and don't want them to leave as a host. They don't want them to leave that realm. And sometimes you make more money if they're an instructor. Let's see, keep it simple, keep the whole event simple. Everybody in that room, if you have 20 people at your event, they're all watching how to be a host. If it looks like it's tedious and it looks like it's costly to throw some food together or whatever, they're not going to want to be a host. So when it looks like it's fun and easy and doesn't cost anything, it's duplicatable, it's just a wonderful experience, and everyone in that room should want to be a host. So everyone in that room is watching everything you do as well. So keep it simple and sweet. If your host is happy because you made her friends happy, she now becomes your most loyal advocate, because she ultimately, he or she, wants that night to be successful for her friends, because she's asked her friends to drive in the snow and leave her kids and come to the house, so she wants it to be successful too. How many of you have had a lot of host cancels? What do you do when a host cancels? You don't, do you do any, try to turn it around? You don't do anything? So pure schedule. And how many do you schedule?
For me, it depends on where we cancel. If it's a sick child or family issue, then those are really simple to reschedule because it was something out of their control.
Yeah, and you just reschedule time. Okay, what would you guys say as far as your hosting classes? How many cancel or reschedule? Is it a 50-50 or does it happen? No?
20.
80-20? Okay, that's good. Okay, let's see. A host will not cancel as often if you make the party planning experience fun. At the event, after orders are taken, let the guests know what the host has done for the evening. Review your party checklist or show flow. I presume you guys have some sort of a checklist or a show flow, which you do when you have an event each time. Or do you have a checklist?
I think that there's a training in the virtual office early on.
I imagine the show flow, do you all do something a little different or the same when you're doing your class?
Well, we have a 2-sided form that we teach from, and that kind of becomes our foundation skeletal. And then you use that with your personality and your enthusiasm and you make it fun. But that becomes pretty much our reproducible, replicatable class.
So that's your flow.
Recording of it in the back office, she teaches class, that we can listen and watch.
Okay, so that's your flow. Do you have a checklist for your events to kind of go through and post and just a checklist? And
Someone had made a list for our group of items.
We put together a really good packing list for us. It was great.
Okay, so it's in the back office? Okay, good.
I think it would be good to have a checklist of what to talk about during the class though, because for me, like on my two-sided, on the tear sheet that we have, I have all of my notes. I've got my own that I bring with me, and I've got like a star of, okay, here's where I want to put in a booking seat so that I can remember, because if I get busy and start talking about how great students really are, yeah, I'll forget about it. And then I also have little stars with an R when I want to drop a recruiting seat. And so, you know, and then you want to share your why, and you want to have your closing 30-second commercial and all that. So I think it would be a great idea to have something like that we could put
Well,
together.
I think when we do this, maybe we do a checklist because I call it show flow, so kind of a class flow or flow. But you always want to plant 3 seeds in every aspect. So your opportunity to be media 3 times, being a host 3 times, and so you're seeding your entire show flow. So with a mix of kind of icebreakers, whatever. So there is a show flow along with educating the guests as well. So we'll put that on our bucket list this year. So, but I'm glad it's in the back office too. Let's see, census. Addressing census, this is really kind of funny. Longaberger Baskets was a $1 billion basket company in Ohio. Back in the days, 15, 20 years ago, I was VP of sales, and one of the reasons we were so successful is that we were able to touch census. So the baskets were maple. So I swear to God, when we passed the basket around, these were expensive baskets. I don't know if you guys know. They were about $150, $200 before fuel winter torrents. And I swear there was a drug in that basket, that maple. But as someone would smell it and hold it, the sales increased. We would also cook brownies, light candles. So whenever you can, touch people's senses. Let them touch, smell, taste, drink. That's why the tasting process is critical, because the more senses you engage, the more effective your content will be. So anything you can do to get those senses going, it really makes a difference.
So she just had a question which reminded me, I open all the packets of everything I have, and I pass it around in my class.
That's a great idea.
How many times can you go to the grocery store and open up things and go, I wanna smell that, and when they smell the protein powder, they buy it.
That is great, and then you see what back up, so you smell.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Great idea, that's great, yeah, so any senses you, and even if someone can, whatever you can do, touch it, play with it a little bit, it makes a difference. So I swear to God, they didn't put anything in those baskets, but this every time you pass it around, this show average would go up, so, yeah. Let's see, collateral materials, so when you, anything you can give your host in your packet, give her as many, and again, it's attached right now, give her as many catalogs, your business cards, your brochures, anything, because she should be passing that with everybody. And make sure your information is on all of that, because I've seen instructors give out stuff and they forgot to put their name on it, and they'll call the home office and they don't know who they're trying to, So just make sure your name is on everything, but just make sure, and then get it back. If he or she didn't use everything, get it all back, but just make sure she does the animation. Okay? So the goal, I think, this year is we'll be talking about the 13 ways to do business that really give you a host packet of something that will help you with the host. And it also makes you a professional manager. So we are definitely going to get to our list. So I think we can put up Sandy come up with 10 minutes. If we can grab Sandy. I want Sandy, she needs to tell us. Okay, can you do 10 minutes? Are you good?
I can do 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay, everybody, Sammy. Yeah.
about Heidi, so I'm totally, I'm fine, I'm a rock. So we talked a little bit, somebody knew what this was. Oh, yeah, you already know what I'm gonna talk about, then that's fantastic. So, I've heard some talk today, Robin mentioned, keeping everything organized. Those days where you're like, well, I don't know what I did today. I did a lot. I'm exhausted. I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything to reach my goals. Yeah, I have goals. Big ones, hopefully. I have a vision board where I keep my big goals on. We have to break those down. It can be hard to do that because most people contacts, well, sticky note, phone. Sticky notes get lost. Phones get broken. They get wiped. Lose our contacts. We lose kind of our keeping track of things. And so we've got to find a way to keep everything in one place. So I've got this neat little planner. I'm not suggesting you buy one. You can download them for free. You can kind of create your own. It's called a passion planner, and I'll actually pass it around. But it's neat. I was looking at some of the best ways for me to keep all my goals in one place. My goals, my calendar, my daily mantras, keep my time where organized and where it needs to be because I'm a mom. I have 8 kids. I work. I do lots of volunteer stuff, and I found that, house is messy. I didn't feel like I was doing anything, even though I was doing everything. I thought something has got to change. So I was looking, and my sister and I found this neat little planner. At the very beginning, it talks about your passion roadmap, and you know this, and this probably helps you a lot. Do you love it?
This is the first year I'm using it.
Oh my
I learned about
goodness!
it earlier this year.
You got, like a lifetime goal. If you do anything, what would it be? What's your big goal? In 3 years, where do you want to be? In 1 year? In 3 months? Your wish list? What's your game changer? Your passion plan, right? What you want from your life, the big thing. And you can do, also what you want from your business, what you want for your children, what you want, anywhere in your life, spiritually, anything you want. And so here's the month, right? It's good to have these goals anyway. I set these goals anyway, but they were on sticky notes above my computer in my office. I had a separate calendar. I have my phone. Got a monthly focus. People that you need to see, places you need to go, things that you don't want to do anymore. I can't do this anymore. Things that you need to say no to. You get your top priority project and your projects, and then every week you've got your weekly focus. It's nice to be able to break down goals. What do I need to do this week? Gratitude, good things that happen. Keep your eyes in the right place instead of focusing on scarcity, focusing on what you don't have or things that went wrong. Let's focus on what went well. We've got a nice little quote. So this week's quote would be, let's see, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. So your goal, of course, in the beginning of January is going to be looking at your game changer. Keep that in mind as you're creating your goals. You've got your personal to-do list, your work to-do list, and the space of infinite possibility. And this can be one of the big mistakes I see people making in network marketing companies, not keeping track of their contacts. This Strive for 5 thing we're doing is a big deal, and that can be a game changer. Talking to just a few people every day. You need to wear your product, not to wear t-shirts, but I mean be your product, live your product. If you're at the grocery store, you see somebody buying a head of iceberg, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Sammy. This is what I do, and I've got some great recipes for this. People want to know how to change your life. You're trying to do better. So finding a way to connect with people wherever you are, whether it's the chiropractor or the dentist or your kid's school, writing down their names, getting to their name, you can oftentimes get their phone number, something about them so you remember them, and then put in your planner somewhere when to contact them again. Give yourself a time frame. Give a business card. Keeping track of those contacts, it's kind of a big deal. It's a really big deal. And that can be the biggest game changer. I know a woman who has made, she's a millionaire, network marketing, and this was the biggest thing for her, was she created something similar to this for herself, and she keeps all of her contacts in it. She keeps everything, her goal. Every day she'll write things down in her little space of infinite possibility. She'll have things like, I don't know about you guys, I meditate, meditation, prayer, all of those things. It's okay to have a focus, to find a way to focus on something and then find a way to bring that to fruition. And so she'll write her daily mantra every day, and every time she sees it, and she opens this so many times a day, she'll focus on that. And she meets every one of her goals, and it's because she's organized. And it doesn't take a lot to be organized. It's just sometimes learning how to do it is a little difficult. So it's neat when you find things like this that you, yes,
Where did you find that?
online actually, and I'll pass it around so you guys can see it. If you go to passionplanner.com, and we're hoping to we're talking about possibly creating something similar specific to GSG Live so that we can have everything that you need for the business included as well, so that it's not, and this isn't something we don't have, we don't have a plan, it's not that we're just talking about it, but you can add things in there. There's plenty of space. You go to passionplanner.com and you can download a free copy. I think to download a free copy, you might have to share on Facebook. It's very simple. You can buy a hard copy online, and I chose to do it because I just thought it was free. I didn't want to finish it and print it. It's $35, and it's a great investment.
And a tax write-off.
And yes, a tax write-off, but it's great because it helps you achieve all of your goals, your personal goals, your spiritual goals, your business goals. So yeah, organization helps with your follow-up, because when you talk to contacts, that's in 30 minutes per day. So we talk about time management. Planning your day in 30-minute increments helps a lot, because you're not stuck in a task for 2 or 3 hour blocks. Your mind jumps off that task if you spend that much time on a task. Spend 30 minutes on a task, jump to another one, come back 30 minutes later. So you have time for everything. You see if you're overtasked, if you need to let go of something. It's easier to see if you do something like this, what you need to let go of.
Exactly. And remember when you plan, and I'm a perfectionist at planning, reward yourself through the planning process, because as you achieve a benchmark, also give yourself, I go shopping at Soma's, that's Chico's lingerie version, and buy myself a long piece of lingerie. So when you achieve your benchmarks and you meet your timelines, reward yourself, because then they say 30 days creates a habit. That's why weight loss programs.
Yes.
So get in that 30-day mode so it becomes permanent.
And the neat thing about that is that has a place for you to celebrate. It'll say, what are things you did well this week? What did you achieve? Then of the month that says, well, what are goals you achieved? What didn't you achieve? And how can we change that? And I'm a celebrator. You'll learn tomorrow about this assessment. My husband and I did. My husband is very much like Sean in one ways, and he has a high D personality. And D's and I's don't really typically go very well together. They're great friends. They don't typically get married. But because we did this before we got married and we started dating and we knew how to communicate with each other, it helped. But I's are celebrators. I like to celebrate. If I can't celebrate my achievements, I
And
don't see a point.
These and I's don't usually marry, they don't get along. So she adjusted a little bit.
I did actually. When I took my most recent, I'm a little more D than I was. So,
And Robbins and I, that's an example.
Are we gonna shape it? What is this?
This is a personality program. It's on your
that was a spoiler for tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow we're going to talk about personality.
And that's also important, because you'll learn about how to communicate with everybody. Your customers, your hosts, your co-instructors, everyone.
And why they think the way they do.
Yes.
They think, why? They don't like it as much as I do.
It's harder to get offended and to be upset if you understand why someone's coming from where they are. Mine are the reason for taking that is because that's what I'm
Oh, it helps me. Yeah. I use it on the shelf. Thank you so much. We are going to break for lunch now, and I think we're going downstairs. But I want to see, again, we may have missed some people. I want to make sure you get, this is an interactive training, so if you gave an idea, we can make sure you have a sample.
And trade me your business cards for what too.
Yeah. How many, who has a lot of samples? What are we looking at? Who's going to be here? Don't leave it to steal. Okay, okay, downstairs.
Just a note on your lunch, you can take your chair down, and there are tables down there with no chairs, so you want to take your chair down again, or you can come back up here and eat if you'd like to, once you eat your food.
The food is laid out for you. You're welcome to do whatever you'd like, but for those of you who are doing the detox and would like to stick to the detox, we have green smoothies on the counter in mason jars for you, as well as the cucumber type of salad right next to it. So you can stick to your detox food and ignore the chocolate or chickens. But so go on ahead downstairs.
We'll just keep it here.
You guys have lots of feedback. You're all the founders.
Sorry, I have a lot to say.
Hey, how are you?
It's like
I gave 5 or 6.
oh yeah, it's right. And that's not upstairs down
Actually, I think none of the salads.
No, I was thinking.
I like you, I got this. Yeah.
Well, and I'm studying nutrition, so I'm still trying to be a dietetic technician register. So I started with that 30 years ago.
I know, like, I do see Oh, yeah. Still there. Yeah, there was some time, I just like,
So how are you?
still in like, yeah. So, but it's yeah. know, I really started the same thing. I Yeah, we got all these stars here. Too much.
Every day.
Yeah,
I just
stop it all. I'm I have two for us.
You might need.
Water.
They all like, it starts with water done like.
Right.
You need to I used to do it. It was literally right on the side, right on the road. Wait, okay, so, scary, scary. I was like, crazy. Wow. Actually, I thought it was American. I don't give us a right word. I'm I got his butt. I did see it. So hard. Thinking about all these things, we don't just working on all their things. I was gonna take awareness, so my mind was like,
Yeah.
I was going to really hard to sit down.
Yeah.
So I just, I thought, I don't have very much. I mean, where is we're gonna go on the like an hour for sellers. That's very easy. In general. Last year, it was actually a few days. So long. Yeah, it was great. I think they're all about 3 or 4 days. Yeah. They're different. Yeah, it's good. So glad to see all of you. It's kind of different. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't look at the whole
I know I'm talking about.
You know, I started it. I think it's snow that we're starting to get. So then that brings
Oh, the best.
Yeah, but because he's like,
Okay. That's okay. For another text.
Oh,
Yes. It will change my life, she's like, she's like, I was just first time. Yeah, maybe no, she's her retail.
She's just like, oh, it's
I think I did.
I'll get the email and see. She might just have her report somewhere.
I don't send it to you.
It's not really about. People I've never met before. Oh, yes. Nice to meet you. I'm good. You want to get rid of a welcome back
And you guys are right here in the corner. Can you help me get the founders and masters to sign each month for the opportunity? Julie just did it the other day, but I'd love to get the rest of us signed up. I know you're both.
Masters.
We have this flashing things. So yeah. I'll give you a sample.
In a row.
Did you get the receipt? Yeah, no, you did. Okay, good. Yes, you're welcome.
I knew I could have. Yes. I have. Are you new?
It's edible. It's actually really good. Now I'm like, there's some leftover. It's so good.
So much I feel like I never.
That's what it is with other things.
You know, like